Welcome to the panel breakdown, holiday edition. This comic book, Amazing Spider-Man 314, is one of my favorite comic books of all time, and I'm going to let you know why right now. Thank you for joining me on the holiday edition of the panel breakdown. I'm your host, Matthew Sardo. We have Amazing Spider-Man 314, and this, for me, is a beautiful book. I love the holidays. I love Spider-Man. I love Todd McFarlane. What could be better than a holiday story with McFarlane, with Santa, with great colors, great panel layouts? Oh man, panel layouts. These panel layouts, when I was a kid, just blew my mind. But let's look at this. But this cover, old school cover. I'm really surprised that McFarlane didn't do something for here. That it's just a Spider-Man stamp. But he does have his holiday Spider-Man up here, and man, it looks good. Looks so good. Mary Jane's got the blues. Spider-Man's getting the boot. This is so Peter Parker. Like, hey, I'm getting evicted on Christmas Eve. I just love all the colors. I actually took out my beat up version compared to like my nice one, but this is the beginnings of like photoshopping. I'll have to do some like research on this, but I mean, like, these white marks were added afterwards, layered on top of everything to show you the snow. I'm always a huge fan of when they like change the logo or break the logo. So simply just adding snow because it's wintertime just brings excitement to me. Like, I'm just like, oh man, this is gonna be so much fun. Look what they're doing. There's like extra details. All these things are going on here. You got Christmas spider over here. You got some snow over here. This is gonna be a lot of fun. This is gonna be a fun ride. And I'm just excited. And the cover just gets me really amped. If I saw this in a comic book store in December or late November, I'd be like, oh my God. I'd just be like, I'd be super juiced. I'd be just so juiced. All right, so when did this book come out? I mean, they have it as April 1989. I don't think that's when it came out because it's the holiday one. So, okay, this is a Stan Lee Presents. David Micheline, writer. Todd McFarlane, artist. Rick Parker's the letterer. Bob Sharen is the colorist. I'm going to have to, again, this is got to be a lot of research because we're only in the beginning. But, like, this is old school printing. And I'd love to know if things get over inked or under inked with this news printing. First thing I love about this is just the way it's laid out. Everything looks nice and crisp. There's a design element to it. And then you have these thick black panels. And you got the title here. It's very bold. And I mean, I was reading older Spider-Man. I'm trying to think of what else I was reading in 89. Like G.I. Joe books. Some Avengers, X-Men. I'll have to pull apart and like look at X-Men compared to this and other books so we can be like, okay, this is what the feeling was. I have some Batman at that point in time. So I can see where my mindset was and like how blown away I was at this compared to previous issues. Like, where was McFarlane in the design layout here? But okay, a lot of negative stuff is happening here. And you have these like dark panels and it actually makes it darker. And just imagine, like, Peter Parker is very angry, and then you have this dark, thick border. And you're like, okay, he's even angrier. Just looking at everybody, how their faces are, lots of close-ups. He loves the side profile, McFarlane does. I mean, there's lots of inconsistencies in faces, depending on the viewpoints and stuff. But I think this outweighs the flatness of this. I think he's trying to get lots of detail and lots of motion in here. And I'm not going to be a defender or homer or whatever. It is what it is. It's my opinion. I think this epic detail and this side profile and this outweighs the goofiness of this. Because then you kind of go back and forth from eye squinting. And see, like this right here, the super darkness, I wonder how much is the printing process. But I love this movement, the yank, the smoke. I want to see like how these are redone and see what they look like when they're redone. And Peter Parker's got some huge eyebrows. Cracks me up. But yeah, these long panels and then these like hyper thin panels. Lots of story setups. Lots of story setups with like, okay, here's a close up of the gun, here's a close up of this guy, and it's what you see now in filmmaking, like amateur YouTube videos. They always like kind of do that. They over embellish like the movement and show the story. But I always like these long panels. It always made the city feel giant to me. As a person who didn't spend a lot of time in New York City, and as a kid just living outside, like, you know, these giant panels, and New York City always felt so grand. And then we get to the good stuff, which any Spider-Man nerd would like. These hyper thin panels. I don't know how he planned these out and how they work, you know, but you have a real close up of the eye, and then like you get the spider, and then you're like, boom, here's your Spider-Man. This is what you've been waiting for. This is your Godzilla moment right here. You get your Spider-Man, and you get all the webs, all the chaos, the moon's in the background, a nice angle of the city, so you feel the movement. It's just, I can sit and stare at this forever. I'm definitely a homer. But again, the hyper thin panels. You got the eyes on this side, you got eyes on this side. So you're getting some emotion. And then I'm trying to figure out these dark panels and why he has them in here, because they do change up at the end. So is it to emphasize at this juncture where they are? Like, why do we want this to stand out? Is this, you know, this is Peter Park's big speech of what his big issues are? And I guess they are. This is the moment where he's like, oh man, I left the nest. I don't want to go back into the nest. A quick summary, they get evicted, and he's talking about going back and living with Aunt May. This is the whole plot of the story. But yeah, this is the big moment where he's like, these are my feelings. This is where I am. So I guess that makes sense being blocked off. But see, if this was blocked off, you'd be like super Spider. You get some blocking here. I would love to see if Todd actually did a full page over here. But yeah, this low angle, this is a good angle. Like the camera angles on this are really good. This is looking this way, this is looking that way. And then behind them, some more is the reveal. I love this low camera angle. Everybody has athletic legs in the late 80s, early 90s. And then Peter goes to a party. Again, you got these long panels that make the city just feel really big. And that's how it came off to me. And then you get J. Jonah coming in, and just all the detail. Like, this guy deserves some big brows. He gets some good brow treatment. His hair looks good. Old man, big ears. Stubby fingers with a stogie. Like, this is perfect. This is where McFarlane had some issues, and it's with the face. Trying to put the same emotion or different emotion. Trying to put different emotions on the same face. Like, coats off. Coats on. Coats off. There's a little wiggle here. Trying to see, there's a little bend to the faces here and there, but like they're kind of the same, but they're kind of like inconsistent. And that's, again, I wonder how it came off like inking wise and coloring wise. Because like some things are super dark and you can't like also print as perfectly as you can now. Like look at Peter's hair here to Peter's hair here, and it's two different colors. It's just, and like you got this random shadow here that makes it look like he has like a a rat tail. So there's like, but I also do like this like layout though. The repetition and going through the different people. Peter's, this little white here to separate him from the back of everybody. Gets this like little, shows him a little jittery around women, which cracks me up because he's married to that woman. Goofball. And then we're back to the black panels again. And just adds so much to it. Look at this color to this. And then, this would have been a very bland. Like, look how light this looks compared to this stuff. This gets really dark. It adds so much. And I'm a huge fan of this layering. This layering, I think I was blown away as a kid by all this different layering. And then you have this big grid here, big grid here. Like this is the action. Setup, delivery. This is an interesting bar right here. This is very inconsistent. I wonder what was going on there. If they cut off the book or it was designed that way. And I would like to see this like re-inked. Like, is his eyes really that much taken care of? But the setup of this is words, brings you back to his face, and then it brings you down to this grave. This picture for me is one of my like favorite pictures of like 90s Peter Parker. I love the scarf. I love this jacket that he's wearing. Like, it is cold. You can feel it. The leaves are moving. The clouds are brewing. Like, it is a dark and stormy night going on there. And then boom, epic 90s action. Look at how all these nice legs are. Everybody's doing leg day back in the late 80s, early 90s. And you have another black panel. All these action lines work real well. But again, like you have these nice black bars that keep your eyes in this center panel. But like you have this nice action here. You have action here. So it balances. You got repetition and they have balance working on this page right here. And he loves his profiles. Everybody goes flying, including Santa Claus. Zip, 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 zip. Like, this is good. It's a story in 3 panels. Bad guy, no gun, tied up. Bad guy, no hat, knocked out. There's not a lot of, you got this and this, but there's not a lot of action words, which is interesting in an action book. But this right here, oh man. This, I don't know what it is about Spider-Man in the snow, but he looks awesome. Like this pose right here, like he looks angry. He looks ready to rock and roll. Like it's a nice color balance. And then, they were doing some like, I don't know if they were doing new things, but like, see how the spider web and the costume disappears down here? Just trying to like bring things together. Because there's tons of detail, and then it's like, okay, no detail, and then like the snow coming through. Oh man, this just looks glorious in 4K. I hope it comes across in 4K to you guys. And then coming back, like I really like, you have this amazing picture, just the standalone. Who's next? And then what McFarlane does best is he just shows you all the muscles, groups, and you can feel that hand ready to rock and roll. And it's like building up to a story, and then boom, Santa Claus did the deed. And then you kind of see like this underneath smirk of Spider-Man here. It doesn't work with this type of inking or this type of coloring, but I liked what they were trying to do with the light coming in behind Spider-Man and coming off of here. Like they were trying different things. And it was, like, his eyes are nice and big here. A little close here. Got the little smile. Santa Claus is smiling. Lots of eye close-ups. Lots of emotion. Lots of, these little stories in 3 acts. Bad guy, no glasses, boom. Ah, man, I wonder if this could have been a full page. Oh, yeah, stuck together. Yeah, if there was some way to get this action scene here, you could have had these in 3 in a row. And then have this be a big spread. I'm still happy with this though here. Yeah, and then this one breaks the panel. Like, this is a very interesting. All the panel structure has been pretty much the same, and you have this right here, and this is like the climactic scene where the bad guy gets taken down, not by Spider-Man, but by Santa Claus. And so I guess that really does make sense to really change things up. You know, it breaks the reality, I guess. Makes it funnier. Could be. Yeah, because you get this like kind of like Looney Tunes would. Then it's Santa. Then you get the smile of Spider-Man here. I mean, there is kind of like a breaking the fourth wall kind of moment here, or breaking the structure of the comic book, and then you get this kind of animation thing going here. And then things kind of revert back, get dark again. And then the panel structure changes. See, it goes to a yellow. And so I am trying to figure out, like, is this the change where things are less sad or less dark than they were before? Of like, oh, Aunt May, we're going to go live with Aunt May. It'll, more joy, more happiness, all these other things. And that panel structure kind of changes it up. Just little things that you notice. Tree looks good. And then you got this Venom return. Oh! Any good things in the last pages? Campbell Soup, Logan, Buck Rogers. Hi, well, I hope you enjoyed my jaunt down memory lane and Amazing Spider-Man 314, one of my favorite holiday stories in the comic book world. I hope you have a good holiday. I hope you get to read lots of comic books. I'm Matt Sardo. This is the panel breakdown, and I will talk to you next week.